It's the betting edge with the Prez. It's Wednesday. We got one college basketball, one NBA game. We're going to take apart both of them, and we've got the NFC championship game to talk about. Same guests as yesterday, Rob Vino from sportsmemo.com, Tony Finn from WagerTalk. And if I didn't mention this yesterday, let me mention it now. Just being in the presence of Tony Finn is enough. It's enough. Just being in your presence, Tony, it's enough. You know why it's enough? Because I don't want to be in it for long.
That's better. Now that's what I'm.
Yeah, baby. Well, I know. I as they say in the UK, I take the piss a lot. But you know what? I mean, Rob knows. Everybody knows. We are all a shell compared to you in sports handicapping. No offense, Rob Vino. No offense. I mean,
none taken.
I mean, you actually don't understand this old-looking weirdo's record, man. Like you, dude, 3-0 yet, 4-0 yesterday. Come on the betting edge. I hype you up. You lay a 4-0 day down, dude.
So you guys all know what to expect tonight, don't you?
Yeah, another 4-0 day.
One more.
I'm only playing two plays.
Yeah.
2-0.
Guys, Rob Vino's on a massive roll as well. 12-5 your last 17, Rob?
12-5 last 7.
Wow.
Good stuff.
Yeah, between these two guys and the Prez too, boy. I'm on a big all sports run myself. I lost my 5% play last night.
What happened? I looked at Lawrence and it was up. It was 2-1 or 2-0, and then I just glanced at the final and they didn't score after the first period. I was disappointed.
Tony, life's a funny thing. I was driving to hockey last night. Colorado Avalanche was my 5% play. They were up 2-0. I got pulled over by the cops. Dallas scored their first goal. I got home. Dallas scored their second goal. I sat on the couch. Dallas scored the overtime goal. It was, you know what? It was the right call, dude. They outshot Dallas 2-1. The second goal should have been reversed, high sticking, then slashing, and the overtime goal, the guy should have been thrown off the face-off, and he won it perfectly because he cheated, and they got the puck back to the point. Blam, blam, game over. It happens, man. I'm on a 9-1 NHL run. All I can do is, as they say in poker, get them in good and let the puck bounce the way it bounces, I guess. But yeah, what a night at WagerTalk, guys. If you check out my Twitter account, I posted it. There were 5 or 6 guys that went perfect last night. Gianni 4-0, Tony 4-0, Marco 3-0. Brian Leonard 3-0, and on and on and on. It was just absolutely outstanding. Rob Vino, you got hacked today, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, overnight.
Wait, Tony.
I want to tell you, we're live, but I'll tell you, I got 2 emails from you this morning, Rob, asking for me to purchase some Amazon cards for you. And I could tell by the email, I haven't answered the guy yet, but I could tell by the email that it wasn't you. And so I said, oh yeah, as soon as I'm done with this video, I'm going to send him, I have some old Amazon cards. If he's listening right now, well, it's not live. I'm going to send it to him, see what he says. But I knew, because I tried to email you to your real email. This one was a Comcast, yours is a Gmail, right? So, and then your email bounced. And I said, oh, Rob got hacked this morning. I knew it.
Robert, why did you let that happen? Come on.
I don't know. I went to bed. Everything was fine. I woke up. I got a flood of text messages showing me a picture of that thing. So we'll get it settled. But it's an inconvenience for sure.
Lawrence has had. You've had that. I've had it happen.
We've all had that happen.
Yeah.
Guys, you're watching the Betting Edge with the Prez. Make sure to check out Puck Time.
Check your email account too, right?
Oh, just shut up, Tony. Let me do my thing, man. Make sure to check out Puck Time, Buster and Andrew. We take apart both games, and also the NFL presidential address with Ralph Michaels is up. Let's get Ralph Michaels, speaking of which, dude has his first 5% college basketball total of the year today.
A year? Wow.
Yeah, so check that out at wagertalk.com. And You know, a lot of you guys ask, why don't you give out promotions for Tony? Why? What's up with that, Prez? Well,
yeah, what's up with that?
Let me tell you guys. If you paid double what Tony's regular price is, it would still be a deal. So just be.
I give you full permission.
I
give you permission to do such. By the way,
to charge double.
Yes, of course. I mean, I give people permission to pay double. Just donate.
Yeah, just buy it twice.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I like that.
So the fact that we allow Tony to sell at regular price, well, that's a special in and of itself. Let's go, boys. Texas, Oklahoma State.
Please.
Tony, I'll go to you first. Oklahoma State came out at -3. It's now -3.5 in most books. It's been bet to the over. 122 is where it opened. It's now at 125. Regale us with your thoughts.
Well, I'm surprised at both of these numbers, to be honest with you. First off, Oklahoma State is, in truth, they're offensively challenged. They score off their defense. They pressure very hard. They try to turn you over, make mistakes, and that's how they create their offense. In truth, they're not naturally gifted offensively. They don't have the one go-to scorer per se, and they're young. And the issue with this game is I have this game as actually Texas, as much as they're struggling from long range, and people are talking about Shaka being having the hot seat as far as the coaches in the Big 12 go. The truth is that he knows how to beat this Oklahoma State defensive pressure. That's what he got. He got to the Final Four on the same kind of defensive, while albeit not full court. It's exactly what he teaches his kids to do. They know how to beat it. I like Texas as a road dog tonight in this contest.
Rob Vino, are you with Tony?
Yeah, I would echo that sentiment, and I would point toward the under as well. I feel like these totals, guys, when they're in that low range, 119, 120, 120, they always get bet to the over. I think that's, there's a portion of money out there that figures you can score that many by mistake. It would have to be by mistake in this game. Tony talked about Oklahoma State being young. It starts with that freshman backcourt. This team turns it over 20 times a game, and Texas forces 22. So that gives you kind of an idea of what might be in store for tonight, even though Shaka Smart doesn't apply the VCU-style pressure that he used to. For OSU, they haven't shot better than 42% in only one game in their last 8. I mean, these shooting percentages are horrendous. The freshman backcourt I talked about, the two guys combined from three-point range this year, 12 of 68, 17.6% from three. A lot of bricks being fired up on the Oklahoma State side. Texas is not much better, but they have a couple better options offensively. I think it probably stays under, and I don't see how you could play Oklahoma State unless Lindy Waters or somebody just catches fire by accident.
That was well put, by the way, Lawrence. That's much better than I put it, and he's spot on.
Well, listen, Tony, I mean, let's be honest here. You're not the world's best video guy. I mean, you might be the world's best handicapper, but... check out Rob Vino, let it hurt. Gianni, Marco, Dave Koken. I mean, Teddy. These guys are absolute naturals behind the mic. Boys, NBA, San Antonio, plus 5.5 on the road. Total has been bet down to 220.5. Miami's nicely built, man. This team looks really good. I think that might be a short number. Tony, I'll go to you first.
Well, first and foremost, San Antonio has changed at least Coach Pop has changed what he was trying to teach early on in the season. This is his youngest team in 17 or 18 years in San Antonio. It'll be the first team that won't make the playoffs during that span as well. And they've been horrendous, even with DeRozan's numbers. If you look at his underlying peripherals, his defensive numbers are not very good, and this team isn't very good defensively. And so what Pop has done over the last couple of weeks is he's asked his guys to push the pace, play at tempo, and try to outscore teams. And they've done a really good job of scoring. Unfortunately, they still can't defend even at that pace. And in this case, I was surprised to see this bet down. As far as the total goes, I thought maybe the total was just about right, but maybe I'll have to research this a little more. In my first inclination in this game was to be playing Miami and the over.
He's Tony Finn, WagerTalk.com. Rob Vino from Sports Memo. Do you agree?
Yeah, the last two things Tony said, Miami and over at home this year. Miami 13-4 against the spread at home, and 12-6 to the over at home. So both of those things have come through quite a bit in Miami Heat games. They've shot the ball exceptionally well. Last 4 games, over 50% in each, but the defense has failed them somewhat because they've come away with back-to-back spread non-covers against Brooklyn and New York. But at home here, guys, you have to like their ability to defend more than San Antonio's. The interior defense of San Antonio has been terrible all season long. Saw a number this morning where LaMarcus Aldridge has taken more to the three-point arc and has gone 18 of 27 on three-point shooting recently. So he's picked it up on the offensive end. I'm with Tony in the fact that I thought the number, as far as total is concerned, would probably have gone up rather than down. It's an interesting downward movement there. I still might lean toward the over, but I think Miami's the right side, guys. They have just been a world beater at home, totally healthy, except for Justice Winslow, who's been out for a while now. And our good friend and colleague Joe Ranieri has told us that Miami is actually delving into potentially trading Winslow because of these injury problems. So I don't see any problem here for the Heat. San Antonio's been good as of late. That might caution you a little bit. They're 7-3 against the spread last 10 games.
Guys, just to remember, this is the last week of the betting edge until next football season. First pitch starts a week before baseball, where we'll do the preview show. Boys, let's talk NFL. Yesterday we looked at the AFC game. Today we'll look at the NFC game, Green Bay versus San Francisco. Minus 7.5 now for San Fran, a total of 45. If you want my thoughts and opinions, check out the NFL presidential address. Rob Vino, I'll go to you first.
Yeah, we've talked about both of these games the last couple of days. Prez yesterday, San Fran and Green Bay. Today, KC and Tennessee. But, we have a game in each instance to go back to during the regular season. And when you go back to those games...
Did we talk San Fran yesterday?
We did, right, with Green Bay?
Oh, my God, I've lost my mind. Let's start that over again without pressing stop. Okay, boys, we're talking Tennessee and Kansas City. Kansas City minus 7.5, a total of 52.5. A 53 at Bookmaker and Pinnacle. It keeps climbing up. Rob Vino, regale us with your AFC thoughts.
You got it, Prez. You look back to the regular season matchups. Each of these contests have had one. And when you look into them, you try and see what potentially teams could do different this time around. Yesterday, we talked about San Francisco, Minnesota. San Francisco, Green Bay. I was of the opinion that Green Bay just can't do much to change that result. And I kind of feel the same way here. It was a 35-32 Tennessee win. The one thing Kansas City could do to reverse that result, guys, they scored 7 times in that game. Before those were field goals. If they can turn field goals into touchdowns, potentially this result changes. Those field goals were not deep either. I mean, they got just outside the red zone in 3 of those occasions. Once they got all the way to the 13, but had to settle for 3. But what you would think would happen, happened. Mahomes went crazy, threw for over 400. Hill and Kelsey went crazy, receiving-wise, caught over 200 yards worth of passes. And on the other side, Tennessee ran Derrick Henry until Kansas City couldn't take any more of that. They did get a defensive touchdown in that game to help them along, but when push came to shove and Tennessee went on a march late in the game, Kansas City couldn't stop them. 58 seconds left. Tennessee scores a touchdown and wins that contest without the help of A.J. Brown, who since that day has had 4 games of 100 receiving yards or better. So you think A.J. Brown probably gets a little more involved here. I think 7.5 is too big. Just to sum this up real quick, Prez, I would like Tennessee. Don't know that they can repeat the outright victory, but I think 7.5 is just too much to lay here against a Kansas City defense where I'm just not on that bandwagon that says Kansas City's defense is so much improved over the second half of the season. Houston got the better of them early in that game last week. I think we saw KC still got quite a few holes, and tackling Derrick Henry is likely to be one of them again.
Yeah, I mean, be careful, Rob. Houston got the better of them off of 2 turnovers right at the beginning. And I got a feeling Tony Finn is going to disagree with you. Tony, you had a big play out on Kansas City last week, and it was an easy winner, dude. I mean, no sweat at all.
Well, I will say this, and that is, Rob spoke to one when Tennessee and Kansas City played in Nashville. Tennessee was a benefactor. Mahomes did throw for 450 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. And they benefited off, as Rob described. Kansas City wasn't the best team inside the red zone. They didn't have to be for the most part. In fact, they kicked some field goals, a lot of field goals this year on 4th and 1s where had they not been ahead or had they not had the confidence that they have to score throughout a game, they may have improved that red zone percentage. But let's start with Tennessee. Tennessee's been a benefactor of playing a New England team that was overrated or overvalued for the most part, and I know Lawrence will you will agree with that. Secondly, when they played Baltimore did put up 550 yards, 530 total yards. They stumbled over their own feet. Tennessee got a couple good bounces, and for the most part, it's difficult for me to support a team that's quarterback in this day and age, in this environment, in this climate, that threw less than 20 times and completed less than 10 passes in both of these wins. Henry did gain 150, 180 yards against Kansas City. One of those was a 70-yard run. And Kansas City's going to do much more to make Tannehill's going to have to throw more than 20 times in this game. I agree. He's going to have to throw. He's going to have to complete 20 passes for them to win because the Chiefs are. Spag is going to go big on this defensive line. He's going to go big. Look at what they did to, for instance, Cook of Minnesota, who at the time when they played him, he was the NFL's leading rusher. He had of 21 carries, 10 of those were for 2 yards or less. And he went completely – the DC for Kansas City went completely different. They went big on the line and dared Cousins to throw the football. We know the result of that. I like Andy Reid in this situation. I like a lot of variables and a lot of edges that I find Kansas City. Covering 7.5 is a different story. They're going to win this game. I have no doubts about that. And in fact, I believe they can cover 7.5 just as easy as they could cover 9.5. To be true, I mean that's
the same number, really.
Right, exactly right. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is that I think Tennessee has done everything they can possibly do to get where they are today. Remember, this is the same team that started 2-4. And their offensive line has been better.
Well, it's not the same team. I mean, they have a much better quarterback now. But Tony, listen. I think the biggest problem that Tennessee is going to have is just stopping or keeping up with that Kansas City offense. That to me, a Bears 85 doesn't stop this Kansas City offense. These guys are putting up somewhere between 28 and 45 points, no matter who the hell they play. Should be a super fun game.
To make one last point, you made a great point. If Tennessee lets Kansas City get any kind of a lead here, it takes Henry out of the game.
Well, a two-score lead. If they go up by 2 scores, this game is done.
And real quick, guys, before we shut it down here, Kansas City gained over 500 yards the first time. The argument would be that Tennessee has to control the ball to win this contest. How about Kansas City won time of possession by 15 minutes the first time? So over 500 yards, a 15-minute time of possession edge. KC ran 78 plays. Tennessee only ran 49 plays. So they had to keep up with their offense, and somehow they did. I think 7.5 is too big.
I hear you, brother. I'm the Prez, Rob Vino, Tony Finn. Boys, thanks so much for joining us. A real pleasure. Guys, check back tomorrow. We'll figure out who's on that show. 2 more days left of the betting edge until football season. Make sure to join us. Guys, thanks so much again, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Ciao. Thanks for having us.